Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew guy, and this is the Series 10 wrap-up. So I'll be running through the products that I have reviewed in this series. Series 10 was non-premium pouches. There are 17 numbers altogether. There are actually 16 products. I always skip 13. Can't remember why I started doing it. It was sort of tongue-in-cheek. There was a reason that it made things easier for me. I'm not really actually superstitious at all. So it runs 1 through 17, skipping 13. So I started the series off with the number 1 spot going to Timberwolf Straight. The Timberwolf products were pretty sound. They're okay products, and my only complaints with Timberwolf were bypassed with the pouched products because they had the stow and throw lids, which made the lid sturdy, which is my big complaint with Timberwolf products. And Timberwolf to me isn't the best cut, and they got around that too by having it in a pouch. So Timberwolf Straight was one. The second spot went to Timberwolf Natural. The Natural's a little bit light on flavor release. It's not a bad natural flavor. It's lower salt, but there's not enough of it. Number 3 was Timberwolf Peach. I will always like the long cut version more, but it was okay in pouches too. Number 4, that was number 3. Number 4 was Timberwolf Mint. Same deal. Their mint is pretty good. All these products, the only things that I would improve would be from Timberwolf would be a higher nicotine content. But besides that, they were all pretty sound. Number 5 went to Timberwolf Winter Green. As expected. Not much of a burn with their Winter Green. It's there, but there's not much of it. Number 6 took us to the next tier down of the Pinkerton products, and that was Longhorn Straight. Sort of along the lines in general, like the Timberwolf, only Longhorn to me has a little bit less nicotine, and their cut isn't as good in their long cut variety. But again, that was bypassed by it being in pouches. The Timberwolf and the Longhorn products, all the pouches were very moist. Even there was one of them, I can't remember which now, that was, I had bought it, it was within date, but it had been sitting here waiting for a while and had gone out of date. And even it was, the moisture level was like through the roof on it. So the Longhorn Straight was okay. It was sort of in line with the Timberwolf Straight. There seemed to be the difference between the Timberwolf pouches and the Longhorn pouches were that the Timberwolf pouches had a little bit more mouthfeel and a little bit more flavor. By mouthfeel, I mean the Timberwolf Winter Green had a little bit more of a burn than the Longhorn Winter Green. The Timberwolf Mint had a little bit more of the cooling mint tingle than the Longhorn Mint. But general flavor-wise, they were very close to each other. Although I do fully believe that they are different products. So 6 was the Longhorn Straight, and then 7 was the Longhorn Natural. Again, it sort of followed along the lines of the Timberwolf Natural. Not a whole lot of flavor. Not necessarily a bad natural, but not a whole bunch of flavor with it. It does have less salt content. It tastes that way anyway. I do prefer more salt myself, but it was all right. It's just the flavor, what flavor there wasn't enough of. So then number 8 was Longhorn Mint. All right. Again, all of these products were, moisture level was really, really good. The flavors weren't bad. They just sort of scaled down and back going from the Timberwolf to the Longhorn. Number 9 was Longhorn Winter Green. Same deal again. Not a bad wintergreen, but the burn was less than the Timberwolf product, and there wasn't as much flavor as the Timberwolf product. Why this is, I do not know. I could only think if it was in a non-pouch form that there was something different with the cut, but one would think that the cuts are the same in pouch products, but I don't know that for fact. So, number 10 was the Renegades product, which was interesting. I wasn't overly impressed, to tell you the truth, but it was something that Pinkerton must have originally brought out to compete with Skull Bandits. It was a smaller pouch. So don't go by what it says on the Northerner or anything like that, because as usual, they don't have the information completely correct. That, and you're going to pay some ridiculous price for it, so you shouldn't probably even look. It was a mini pouch product, basically, with 20 to a can. The pouches were smaller in a different way. The Skull Bandits were pretty well packed, but the pouch itself was thinner. And for its thinness, slightly elongated. These were more squarish. They were sort of squared off and not packed as tight. So that was the number 10 review. And then I took a break. And I did a couple chew reviews. And I'm going to take a break right now because I'm having a problem with my nose here and I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to hit the pause button and I'll be back in a second. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I thought I was going to start sneezing. Anyway, so I did a chew break after the Renegades Wintergreen review. And just to add on about the Renegades, that is a standalone product by Pinkerton Tobacco Company, okay? There is only one Renegades, and it is the Wintergreen. There are no others. So I did a couple chew reviews after that at the break, and then I got back into the series at the number 11 spot, and we went with Klondike Cherry. Okay. 20 pouches to a can. They're basically dry to the touch. They're super tiny. They're tiny, tiny pouches. Only, unlike the Renegades, which I have a feeling was, came to life as a answer to Skull Bandits, these things, there was no real thought behind it except for let's get this product out as cheap as possible and we'll make it as cheap as possible. So, with all of the Klondike products, because I'm just going to group them together, the cherry, the peppermint, and the wintergreen Klondike. They all were 20 pouches to a can. They were all very lightly stained pouches. I don't know if it's something with tobacco inside them or if there was never higher moisture in the product even while it was sitting in the factory. But they're whitish. They're a very off white color. They're very small. There are 20 of them, but during the reviews, I was popping in 4 at a time. Now, I don't take the biggest pinches. So guys that do, probably are going to have to throw in about 6 of these things. Very low nicotine. The flavors were actually all right, but they didn't come across real well. There wasn't enough flavor, with the exception of the peppermint. But the wintergreen was lacking, and the cherry was definitely lacking. None of the flavors were per se bad. There just wasn't nearly enough of it except for the peppermint, as I said. And it was pretty good. But the nicotine count was super low. So low, it made me question as to why they even bothered making this stuff. So that was the 3 Klondikes. And then basically I did a mirror of those Klondikes with Derringer, which was cherry, peppermint, and wintergreen. And it played out basically exactly the same. Now, in long cut variants, there is a difference between Klondike and Derringer. Klondike is CN, Smokeless Tobacco Company's sort of upper tier product. Yeah, I know, but that's sort of what it's set up as. And Decade and Derringer are the lower tier product. Notice how I said product and not products, because they are the same product, in my opinion, with just different stickers on the can. And if you see one in one area, you won't see the other. And if you see the other in one area, you won't see the first. They're interchangeable. In the pouched form, the Derringer and the Klondike, it was the same product. Cherry, not a bad flavor. Not nearly enough of it. Wintergreen, a little more flavor, but still not enough of it. Peppermint came across pretty good. But there was no nicotine in any of them. I mean, there was some, but it wasn't enough, and I was having to throw in 4 pouches at a time. So now you got a can of 20, yeah, but if you're only throwing in 4, that's only 5 dips with no nicotine. So why? I don't know. I don't know why, because I am not inside the minds, the think tank that is CN Smokeless Tobacco Company of Grover, North Carolina. So that was 11 through 17. 13th spot was skipped. It was Klondike Cherry, Klondike Peppermint, Klondike Wintergreen. Then Derringer Cherry, Derringer Peppermint, Derringer Wintergreen. And that was the end of the series. Now, there are outstanding pouched products. My online retailer didn't have them, didn't carry them. So there are some outstanding, and I am talking to the gentleman I know that is in Kentucky about getting them. So there will be add-ons to this series, for better or worse, and for me it will probably be much, much worse, because there are 4 that I know of. One is Decade, and I believe it is Cherry. It's going to be the mirror image of the Derringer Cherry and the Klondike Cherry, but if I can get a hold of it, I will, and I'll do a review of it. And there are 3, not sure which ones, 3 surviving kayak pouched products, which I am also trying to source. Why? I don't know. I know. You didn't come over. You came over here for answers. And for a lot of this stuff, I really don't have any. I have no idea why I do some of the stuff that I do. But I will do the 3 kayak pouch products as soon as I can get a hold of them. And then I believe the Series 10 non-premium pouches will be officially closed. It'll be done. So, that said, I will be now going to do the opening in just a moment here of an experiment, and that will be finished in a video by itself sometime in the next couple days, which will be in the playlist experiments. And over the next couple days, I will be doing at least 1 dry snuff review and 2 chew reviews. Now, whether I spread them out 2 to 3 days, I don't know, because there will be more news in there. I have had to switch around future series again, mostly for price reasons, but a little bit of it is just so I can position it so I am doing videos daily for a longer period of time. Okay, so this has been Series 10, non-premium pouches, the wrap-up video. What I'm going to show you real quick is the beginning of an experiment that I will record a video for the outcome of this experiment. We're taking the Klondike Cherry. As I said, no nicotine, but the cherry was an alright flavor. Nothing shady about it. The Klondike products in this series and the Derringer didn't have any shady under flavors or smells. So I think maybe the cherry would be more, it would come across better if moisture was added. Thus, the needleless 1 milliliter syringe, which is filled with spring water. So we're going to pop this open, and I don't know if I want to stand and do this? I can't even find. Oh, okay, there we are. We're all the way up here, huh? All right. We're just going to add some water to the can here. And I'm going to try to get it so as many pouches are hit as possible. This is so weird holding this. This is why I stopped doing it after the... Ideally, the bizarre thing here is that maybe I have to give it longer, but I just dropped like, I don't know, probably 15 drops of water on these things, and they haven't gotten any darker. So I'm going to cap that, shake it around different directions just to get the water moving and spreading out. I'm not packing pouches here. I'm just trying to get the water. And I will let you know how that turns out in the next couple days. So the next couple days, as I said, got water on the notebook. The next couple days are, I am doing a dry stuff review tonight. Tomorrow I am doing a chew review. And the next day I am doing a chew review. And the next day, which would be Sunday, I will also be doing channel news and how this turned out. This is going in the fridge for 48 hours. So, guys, I do thank you. Only person that's popped up has been in a comment section. Thomas Jones, hello, and I guess thank you. I did respond to you, by the way. Do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors, Wayside Lee 83, Dirty Pat Walsh, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel here on YouTube. I do hope everyone is well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.